Alright, call hello Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai Bahasham Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, great male son of well. I am not a member, however, I've entered into their labors. Peace and mercy to the sincere brothers and sisters doing this wherever you are, whatever your lot may be. So this is a quick one. We got just some news updates, right? What's going on within Babylon and what's going on outside of Babylon, across the pond, where the least of the flock is drawing them out. And let's get that. Alright, this is Jeremiah 50 and 45. We're just going to be, I'm going to hit a couple of precepts. Be very thorough, but quick. And I reiterate, we're going to be thorough. I can't guarantee to be quick, but hopefully we'll get through this. Alright. Therefore hear ye the counsel of Yahweh that he hath taken against Babylon, and his purposes that he hath purposed against the land of the Chaldeans. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. And I did it in the video before. I gave you the precepts on how the so-called JEWs over there, who by blood are Esau, Edom, and how they like to push that narrative that Esav is the West, NATO, EU, but mainly America. Or America is spiritual Rome, which is true, but just because you're on the other side of the world does not excuse you, because the scriptures tell you that Israel shall be trodden down into the time of the Gentiles. Man, let's get that. Okay, Luke 21 and 24. And Jerusalem, I'm going to read the second half. And Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled. Right? This devil had to go out for his little season and deceive the nations. Why? And that is why half of him is the other half. One tribe of Esau, of Edom, is at war with the other. They can't agree because one is greedy. Well, they're all greedy, but the one has the most greed, and he hoarded the blessing of the earth. He hoarded it unto himself. And that is those people in the land right now calling themselves something they are not. Alright, so first order of business, right? We got the ILA port strike that's coming up. Whether they go on strike or not, it will definitely have some lasting effects. And think of COVID, think of the inflation and the issues that we had with supply during the pandemic. So we're going to almost quadruple that, because we already have higher inflation than what we were back then, and then you're going to have a strain on the supply chain. So I looked it up, and these are the ports, and I can't find it. I can't find any evidence, but supposedly there are foreign ports that are joining this strike. So not only will you have Boston, New York, Philly, Baltimore, Hampton Roads, Wilmington, Charleston, Savannah, Jacksonville, Miami, Tampa, Mobile, Alabama, New Orleans, and Houston. Not only will you have these ports potentially going on strike, but you will have the potential imports that come in here from foreign lands. Well, I'm sorry, the potential exports that leave this place to go to foreign lands and vice versa. You're going to, have those things potentially stopped. Now, I want to do a quick little segue on here. Okay, we're gonna go to Revelation 18. Because this is how this is how right? And this is just one scripture, but this is how I remember hearing somebody, damn it, talk about how they argue these. So mostly, of course, it's Christian. Good grief, man! Talking about how Babylon is the Vatican. Now, what did we get? Up 11 and 24. Okay. Alright, lament for Babylon. Okay, the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning. And is referring to when this place finally gets completely and utterly annihilated by nuclear missiles, right? That lake of fire. And that is why another scripture says that the place will be like an inhabitant of birds and every foul and unclean beast. Okay, standing afar off, the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, the mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. And the merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her, and for no man buyeth her merchandise any more. And okay, let me go. The gold and the silver, precious stones and the pearls, fine linens and purple and silk and scarlet and thine wood, and all manner of vessels of ivory and manner of vessels of most precious wood and of brass and of iron and of marble. Okay, all these exports and all the things that get imported. Um, right here, the Vatican does not have that. Okay, the Vatican is the religious arm of this wicked, disgusting system. Okay, you have the military-industrial complex, and then you have the religious, and then you have the financial. Right, religious being the Vatican, financial being London, and then the military being D.C. All right, so there's a famous quote. I don't remember who said it. Uh, when the government tells you not to worry. Let's see. I don't know who said it. And I'm wording it. This is a terrible way to to use your Google Jutsu, right? I don't really. Yeah. But basically, there's a quote that says, "When the government tells you not to worry, you should worry." All right. Or when you hear not to panic, you should panic. And when people tell you to panic, or when they tell you to panic, then you shouldn't. Basically do the opposite. Alright, so this kind of reminds me of that because this guy here is going to say, he doesn't foresee this being a big deal. But uh, I don't know. Adjust your volume. I'm going to let this play. It may be a little loud. Alright.
The International Longshoremen's Union, which represents about 45,000 workers at ports across the East and Gulf Coasts, is set to strike next week. That's if they can't come to a deal by the September 30th deadline. To discuss what impact a prolonged strike could have on the country's supply chains and the broader economy, we've got Jason Miller. He's a supply chain management professor over at Michigan State University. Jason, thanks for being here. I want to just jump into the potential impact that this could have, right? To what extent, and for viewers listening who maybe are not familiar with the supply chain challenges and economic impact of a strike like this, talk to me about kind of the degree of the potential impact of this.
Before you even go in, generally, when someone has extensive knowledge, they will put, current professor of blah, 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 has X amount of years of experience within supply chain, has this, has that. They will go over their credentials. They never mention this man's credentials. And I could be wrong, but that's just something I thought about.
Yes.
Yeah, the degree of impact really is going to be a function of how long a potential strike takes place. If we're looking at 24, 48 hours, it wouldn't be that disruptive on the big scale of things. And again, that's always taking everything back, thinking about the type of disruptions we saw in 2021 and 2022. On the other hand, you start.
But also, maybe not. But 24 to 48 hours of things not being moved, because there are also things that are still there. There are millions and millions of containers that get moved, and just because something's not coming in, things that are there still need to be moved. So I don't understand why he would say that. But then again, I am not a professional, nor do I work on the docks, nor do I manage anything of that nature. But it would just seem as if that would be the case. That would be something somebody would bring up. But again, I am not a professional, and I could definitely be wrong about this. But you still have your current inventory that must be moved.
Getting into a week or more, you're going to have an extensive pile up, and you can think about this as each additional day at that point, it's exponentially longer to unwind the situation. So a few day strike, not that bad, but an extended strike will be very disruptive, especially for importers in certain sectors.
Jason, how likely do you think that is?
Certainly at this point right now, given both sides are not talking and they're very far off in terms of wages, in terms of discussion of automation, it seems likely that we will have a strike at this point. So my base case right now is there will be a strike. It's really a question of how long will that take place once it would begin.
What's your base case for the longevity of the strike and just the degree to which they do kind of have bargaining power given the degree of impact?
Yeah, so right now, my base case would be we would get a couple days in, and I find it difficult to believe that the Biden administration will not invoke the Taft-Hartley Act and essentially have a commission form, deliver a report, and at that point, there'll be an 80-day cooling off period. We would expect some slowdowns over that period because the workers may not be working quite as fast. But it's very difficult for me to see how this plays out, let's say a 2-week extended strike, given the amount of disruption that would take place.
So then given the fact that maybe it's not going to take that long, but let's play devil's advocate. Let's say that this strike actually happens. It does last for 1 or 2 weeks. Inflationary pressures that we could see as a result, economic impact, GDP hit that we could see as a result of a prolonged strike. I guess more accurately, Jason, what does that look like?
Yeah, so from an inflationary standpoint, I'm not very worried about that. When you look right now at the piece of the CPI that's still the biggest driver of year-over-year inflation, it's that shelter component. And we know that's coming down because of the trend of a new tenant rent index that's produced by the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Where we do start to see more of an impact, though, is in certain industrial sectors. So on the export side, by far the most affected commodity is plastic resin.
Okay, so I was looking through the comments, but it's just a bunch of NPCs that don't know anything either. He's gonna go on to talk about plastic resins and car parts that are thing, but I'm not a professional, but I truly beg to differ. I feel like even if they just did 24 to 48 hours, people would feel it. We would all feel it in one way, shape, or form. And if the strike does happen, if they do enable the Taft-Hartley Act of 1947, which we'll grab really quick, even if they do enact it, who's to say that there won't be another strike down the road? Because according to the book of Revelation, chapter 6, right, those horses, there's war and pestilence and famine. These things are prophesied to come. Let's get that first, right? So well, actually, how should I? Second seal, war. Okay, Revelation 6 and 3. And when it opened the second seal, I heard the second beast say, "Come and see." And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given unto him that sat thereon, to take peace from the earth. And remember, I've done this before. I've gotten this before. When you see red, horse represents power. And when you see red, you can generally link that. So that red dragon or anything red, or you can link that to Esau, Edom, because the earth was given into the hand of the wicked. The wicked is outlined in Malachi 1 and 4. It tells you who they are. And just look who is in charge of the earth. Just look at why and how things are the way they are, because they are greed. He is a greedy, he is a proud man. He never keepeth at home. He can't mind his damn business to save his life. Literally, he cannot, and that will be this devil's downfall. And blessed, as the scriptures say, blessed is the man to live to see the fall of his enemy. Red power was given unto him to say therefore to set thereon, to take peace from the earth, and should kill one another, and there was given to him a great sword. What does the book tell you in the book of Genesis? When Isaac blessed Esau, by thy sword shalt thou live, right? So as Isaac came, he came as Isaac to give this devil his blessing, and Yahushua is going to return, right, to take what he gave him as Isaac. Third seal, famine. And when I had opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, "Come and see." And I beheld a black horse, and he that sat on was a pair of balances in his hand. And I want to get that. Zygos, or is it Zygos?
Strong's G 2218, Zugos. Zugos.
Zugos. I was wrong. All right. What it mean? A yoke that is put on draught or cattle. A metaphor used any burden or bondage as that of slavery. Or what are we? What? Hold on. Of troublesome laws imposed on one, especially the Mosaic law. Hence the name there. So transferred. The commands of. Transferred to the commands of Hamashiach as to contrast them with the commands of the Pharisees, right? But really, that yoke, that this digital slavery, we are marching ever so quickly to, right? Interesting, ain't it? And these weird laws that are going to be passed. So these laws on quote unquote misinformation. And what is misinformation to the devil himself? What would be the truth, right? And these weird things about age of consent and what's good and what's not for children, what's good and what's not for consumption. Which, good grief, if we only knew everything that went on with our food. This is verse 6 and 9. And when he had opened the fifth seal, I saw under the altar the souls, or actually, wait, we read Red and Black Horse. Okay. Okay, yeah, that's what we got. That's what we needed. All right, so here is the Taft-Hartley Act of 1947. What this dude mentioned. Where is he at? Here, which I don't know. I find it hard to trust a motherfucker that shave his beard, but lead his ungodly mustache. Look like you make bad life decisions, brother. But anyway, let's make it bigger. A federal law that limits the power of labor unions. Okay, the act was passed by Congress and became law June 23rd, 1947. This is weird how a lot of things that limit the power that people have around that 47 through 49 period. The act made several changes, including union activities. Okay. Unfair labor practices and prohibited unions coercing employees or causing employers to discriminate against them for exercising their rights. Okay. The act made closed shops illegal, but allowed employers to sign union shop agreements that required employees to join a union after 30 days. Okay. Alright, so that's what that is. Alright, so we don't need you anymore. We do need that. Now, across the pond. So, it's not real bombing Lebanon. Of course, they are hitting women, children, and civilians because they claim that they cannot differentiate between, enemy combatant and people. And then they are allegedly putting flares on some of these missiles, so the flare will ignite when the missile strikes a target, and then they point, they record it and say, see, they had their stuff there, they had their missiles there. But the H group, the big H group, they keep their things underground. They have tunnels that they keep theirs in, just as we keep ours in certain strategic locations across the U.S. All right. And this is interesting because I found a little, so we're gonna just skip past. Let me read that. I found this was in 2023. Okay, New Israel, or the new in Middle East, or Greater Israel. Okay, this includes Palestine lands, sometimes some lands belonging to Syria and Lebanon. In these maps, common among believers of the concept of Eretz whatever the fuck. But you see, when I did the video yesterday or the day before, I don't remember, I said an Edomite is an Edomite. This is nothing but manifest destiny again, except over here, or over there instead of over here, right? You can always tell a tree by its fruit. Okay, ultra-nationalist claims that these lands belong to alright. Yeah, so this was last year prior to, October thing, the event, all right, that they like to control the narrative on. How far does this go? Let's see what else we got. Let's see this map. And this was 2021. This is May 21st of 2021. Okay, war between, alright, still not under arrest. Many international organizations, historians, IR watchers are now under depression. Okay, greater, see, this was in 2021. None of this is new, man. Alright, the plan for the Middle East and is slowly exceeding territories to make it happen. Take a look below of what the greater state is and why it is not acceptable to the Palestinians and the Muslim world. Right, why would you, anywhere outside of Seir, right, anywhere outside of Mount Seir, you trespassing. Look at that. And did this devil not, didn't Benny Boy influence the invasion of Iraq? And wasn't there a damn, so they want all of Jordan. Damn near all of Syria. Okay, yes, Lebanon. You know what? But before we do, since I mentioned it, yeah. Also, because he transgresses have cooked to him fight, he transgresses by wine. He's a proud man, neither keep it at home, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Right, man, but that least of the flock that's gonna draw them out, they are gonna be utterly smashed. You are Edom too, so Babylon's judgment is your judgment as well. Where am I at? Oh, that's what I wanted to get. You know what? I better not. You should look it up. How Bibi said before the invasion of Iraq why it would be a good thing to do so, and how the world, how we would all be better off. Because he's always wanted Iran, and this was a part of the big plan. Oh, yeah, so here you go. I'm not going to play it. I'll include this in the description box. I'll just I'll keep the link. Because I've already said enough. Said plenty, actually. Okay. And on the other side of the Zion East front, okay, EU Parliament backs Ukraine's appeal for Western arms use in Russia. Now, what is his name? President of Russia, Putin. Putin said if they did this, that's basically agreeing to, the quote unquote official start of that third woe that the Bible, or that the scriptures tell you that is prophesied of. 425 in favor, 131 against, 63 abstentions. Alright, resolution calling EU countries to let Ukraine, so they're pushing for this, weapons to strike military targets inside Russia. So you're using Western weapons, which pretty much makes the West a target now. Okay, prompting an angry rebuke from Moscow. Alright, they approved the resolution on Thursday, which is non-binding and does not reflect the stance of the bloc's 27 countries. Okay. With 425 votes in favor, 131 against, All right, the text calls on member states immediately to lift restrictions. Kiev has been pleading with its allies to allow it to use donated arms and strike legitimate military targets, quote, deep in Russian territory, like the air bases used by Russian planes in their relentless bombardment of Ukraine. Okay, so you can get the rest of this. I'll do my best to remember to put all of these in the description box. But yeah, you see it, man. We are marching on ahead, and look for more news about the implementation of Revelation 13 and 16, where it calls all both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond to receive a mark. All of this is coming. We're quickly moving. So of course, be repentant. All right, continue to line your life up properly in the way that is pleasing unto the Lord. Continue to be praying. Continue to throw up curses on this place, and more importantly, or equally as important, pray that the Lord keeps you as this place falls. That He keeps you and covers you and your family. All right. So, with that being said, I pray that you're edified. Shalom.